Have another couple filmmakers in our seat. Please introduce yourselves and your movie.
I am Brooke Purdy.
I'm Doug Purdy, and our film is Quality Problems.
I love the premise of this film. What's it about?
Go for it.
Good. It is in a short form a comedy about cancer. So it's a fictionalized account of real events ish. Dealing with breast cancer in a family when they get a diagnosis. But it's basically the story of this family and how they deal with things, and they deal with things in a very kind of twisted, humorous slant.
Normal for probably most people.
Gosh, I hope so. It cannot all be too serious.
It's based on a lot of what happened in our own life. About, 9 years ago, Brooke was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was like getting hit with a lead pipe, but we deal with it like we always deal with things, with a sense of humor, and it got us
super mature.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, and so we decided to incorporate that into a film. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a clip, and I want you to set up the clip because the clip is really, really funny.
So in the film, I play Bailey, and she just receives a diagnosis of a recurrence of breast cancer. So the family had been through this before, years before, and she just gets word from her doctor that it is now recurred in the other breast, and she deals with it in a unique manner.
Very.
Huh? Hey. Today's the day that you listen. You don't get to treat people like crap anymore.
Ma'am? Excuse me.
What?
Are you all right? I mean, do you need anything?
No, Mr. Helper. I'm not actually all right. I happen to have cancer. Again, cancer. Look at. I'm fine.
So the whole family deals with things different, and and how they kind of overcome things together. Like in the midst of all this, Dad has to, work and hold down the family and organize an 8-year-old's birthday party, which in LA can be like a one-upsmanship like nobody's business. So it's kind of a week in the life, but it's a very kind of dramatic, heightened week for them.
I mean, was this cathartic, making this movie? Was this cathartic for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing because we're creatives and stuff like that, but we got to kind of pull in our kids and all our friends and family to work on this, and it was very much a labor of love, but it also it excised some, we got to kind of close the chapter of cancer by coming full circle with it. Mm-hmm. And the kids got to they went to film school basically for a whole summer, and
totally worth it.
Yeah.
It was a blast, and we just that whole summer, that was the summer we made a movie, and you'd wake up at 5 a.m, and we would go to bed with just stands around us, because our house was the set, and we just had people in and out of our house all the time, and it was a blast. I mean, you guys had fun, didn't you? Yeah.
The kids are here. I love it.
Yeah.
So, what's the feedback been? I mean, this is a serious subject and you've turned it into a comedy, which I really appreciate. So, what's the feedback about this movie been so far?
Amazing. I think people are stunned that they're having as much fun as they are. You're not supposed to, it's about cancer, and everybody is supposed to get very serious and dour.
Is that the cancer voice?
Yes. Either that or
the cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Yeah.
So I think people are stunned that they're laughing as hard as they are, and because it's about a family, there's a shift. One of the things we hear most is, I can't believe I was laughing hysterically one second and then weeping in the next. In a good way. It's filled with heart. And it's just a real story about a real family, and that's all we wanted to do was, tell this story and make people feel, hopefully have a good time.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what we're.
I think the
hearing.
important thing for us, and I think what people are also relating, is that because it is some heavy subject matter in it, there's the tendency, and you see this in films at times, that they'll go the opposite direction and it gets a little like hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
And we wanted to keep it as grounded in reality as possible, and still thread that line between very dramatic at some points and then just hysterically funny. And I think for the most part we we
nailed
found
it.
a good through line.
Yeah.
In
Nailed
terms of the feedback we've been getting. So.
That's good. I want to open it up because I think there might be some questions out here for this. Elliot?
Yeah, certainly. So films like these seem to be exploring parts of life that come with no manual, and there's kind of been a trend of that throughout the festival. Is that like a secondary form of learning that you feel, kind of obligated to push out to an audience that probably has gone through something similar?
Elliot's way too smart for us.
Yeah.
Next question.
I like the question.
All right, Elliot, way to go.
Somebody want to ask me about my clothing?
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I think that it's kind of it's filmmaking, without a net. Kind of like how parenting is. You think you know what you're going to do, and you can read all the books you want about it, but you've got to show up someday and do it. And I think that people really respond to that. They don't want to be in films. You don't have to hold their hand. You can give them something, and they can process it. And so I do think there's a trend of that, just in general. Honesty in storytelling. Thanks.
Yes.
So I'm really happy that you're here, sharing this film. When you released it or showed it to people in your own life, did they see a part of it that you didn't maybe share with them the first time around? What was the sort of reaction that they got, maybe seeing a little bit behind the scenes that you weren't upfront with when it actually happened?
There was nothing that we no bombshells that we dropped or anything. A lot of people were confused because it's paralleling our lives. So some people were like, "Did you have a recurrence?" And I was like, "No, we did that. That was that was fictionalized for the film." That, and on the other hand, people were like, "Oh, well, you guys were just playing yourselves." And actually, no. It was, the whole thing was scripted. All the lines, with the exception of a scene here or there, were completely scripted. That our kids played roles and we played roles. So
we wanted to make sure that it didn't just become reality TV. I mean, I think there's a place for that. We just didn't want to do that. We just happened to almost be kind of like method filmmakers.
And there was a certain security in that. You know what I mean? You're dealing with stuff that we went through, and the kids are re-experiencing stuff that they were too little to kind of engage in. So there's a safety and a kind of security in saying this is the story. You don't have to, you don't have to dip into your real life experience. This is your character dealing with your mom character dealing with. So there was a certain safety and security in that, and that was intentional from the gate. But other than that, no, I think everybody was surprised at a lot of things, and people that knew us, the car scene was not a huge surprise to people who know me. We'll just let that stay right there.
Well, I think what you've done is really cool. I do.
Thank you.
And maybe even bordering on brilliant, because I think when we can see humor in very serious subjects, then we're doing a really good thing.
We're bordering on brilliant.
Yeah.
Stop.
Because it's cool. It is very cool.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for being here. We hope that you come back really, really soon. It would be great to have
Cool. We
another
hope to be
alumni
back.
in
This
the
is a great
Sedona
festival.
Film
You guys
Festival.
Yeah, it's excellent here. We're having a great time.